Call of Duty points are now in Infinite Warfare. If you want the best way to get free Call of Duty points, click the link down in the description, install the app, and start getting yourself some free Call of Duty points today. Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin, and welcome back to another Call of Duty Infinite Warfare video. As most of you guys probably know, about 2 days ago, a huge update was put into Infinite Warfare, and I thought because of how many guns were changed here in this update and in the last one where they changed a bunch of the SMGs, buffed the SMGs and stuff like that, I thought I'd make an updated top 5 guns in Infinite Warfare right now. So top 5 guns after this patch update. A few of these guns stayed the same. They're the same guns from my video 3 or 4 months ago. I think it was like 3 months ago when I first announced the top 5 guns in my opinion. And a lot of these other guns have changed because of certain updates and stuff like that. So if you guys could, the last episode of this got like 17,000 likes. I don't think we're ever going to hit that again. But smash some likes, guys. 2,000, 3,000. I'd really appreciate that. So hit that like button, guys. And drop a like, subscription if you guys are new to the channel. Of course, I always welcome the new subscribers, and let's get right into it. So the first one here is going to be an honorable mention, and this is the K bar that you're seeing up on the screen right now. This one was in my first episode in my top 5, but now I feel that it is an honorable mention because it was nerfed. The 4-hit kill range is actually decreased, so you're going to be getting 5-hit kills a lot more often at long ranges, which basically makes this gun still the monster that it is up close, but as far as an assault rifle and using it at very long ranges, it gets completely outclassed by the NV4, and it is more balanced. It still is a very, very good gun in the game, and that's why I'm going to put it as my honorable mention. So this definitely could have a spot in the top 5. In my personal opinion, I'd put it at number 6, but this gun is still very, very strong if you are a fan of it. The only thing that's changed is that those super long ranges, it's going to be taking, or not even super long, but at any long range, it's going to take one more bullet to get those kills. However, this gun is known for its up close or medium to close gunfights for the assault rifle, and basically it's still going to be very, very good at that, and that's why I would put this K-bar as an honorable mention. Now I dropped down, you know, maybe 1 or 2 slots after this patch update because other guns were being brought up and this one was being brought down. Now the first one here in my top 5, and these are in no specific order, is going to be the Type 2. This one was nowhere near a best gun in Infinite Warfare before this update, but what they did on it is they increased the fire rate so it shoots faster, and they also decreased the recoil so that it shoots faster, and there's also less recoil on this Type 2 right now, and this gun is an absolute monster. I mean, getting buffs like that is just absolutely crazy, how you're going to have the buff of the increased fire rate, and then you also have the buff of the less recoil. I think they did nerf the hipfire a little bit. I think they made the hipfire a little bit weaker, but who really uses the hipfire on this gun? This gun is made to be a slaying gun, and definitely now this thing has fast fire rate, this thing has very good damage, and it also has very little recoil. I'd put this gun close to maybe like an HVK from Black Ops 3, and I think this one, you're going to see this a lot more in competitive play, and a lot of the competitive players have been talking about already how this might be the new best gun in the game. Now, while I'm not sure if it's the best gun in the game, it's going to take more testing and more, you know, more playing with it. I'll probably make a video on just this gun specifically, but as of right now, it is 100% in the top 5 guns, and it 100% came out of nowhere. This was probably one of the weaker assault rifles because of the recoil that it had. It always had a fast fire rate, but it had a shit ton of recoil, and the recoil would go vertical. It just go spray straight up with this thing, and now I use this thing without a grip, and it's very little recoil considering how fast the fire rate is. I mean, it's going to have still some vertical recoil, but if you aim at them right in the chest or aim right in their groin or something like that, the recoil should not be a problem, and this gun is an absolute monster and something that you guys should all be sure to test out different class setups, test out all sorts of different things with this gun, because this is one that cannot go underrated or cannot go under the radar anymore because of how good it is after this update. Another gun that got buffed is going to be the Volk. This one was not on my list for the first video, just like the Type 2. This one was an honorable mention in my first video, but because of the buff, they increased the 3-hit kill range, which is absolutely huge. At that medium rare, more like close medium range, you're going to be absolutely melting people with this Volk, and this gun is awesome. I love this gun because of how it reminds me of the AK-47. This one gun is like an energy version of it, or a futuristic version of the AK-47, which is of course one of the most famous guns in Call of Duty history, and this gun is absolutely awesome to rock with the silencer, to rock without silencer. You can also, the Volt Corruption is one of my favorite variants in the game because of how much experience you get from that, and even the other epic variant, which is the Volt Goliath, is a good semi-automatic gun, which obviously all these things get help from this buff. And this definitely, you know, when certain guns get nerfed and certain guns get buffed, it's basically like a double buff, because while the Volk is going up, other guns are going down. The NV4 is getting nerfed, it's going down. The K-bar is getting nerfed, it's going down. And that's why these Type 2 and this Volk are very, very strong assault rifles now. I'd probably still say the Type 2 is better than the Volk, but the Volk is your sturdy, average, strong assault rifle, and it definitely deserves a spot in these top weapons because of how good it is, how good it's always been, and it's, again, another one that can't really go under the radar, and it definitely should be used by most people because of that 3-hit kill range buff on this gun. Next one on my list is going to be something that was already on the first list, but this is the ERAD SMG. And the reason why this one is remaining on the list, and I'm removing another SMG, which is the MACTAV 45, aka the UMP 45, is because the UMP 45 did get a little bit of a nerf. They basically increased the recoil on that gun, while they did help all the SMGs with their aim assist. So you basically did aim assist at a longer range with the SMGs. They nerfed the other one, which was on my list, which was the MACTAV 45, which basically means because the ERAD has variants, the MACTAV 45 doesn't have variants. The ERAD is definitely going to be on my list. This is the SMG that pro players are using in competitive play, and this SMG has some very strong variants of it. It's once again another energy gun. I find that a lot of the energy guns on this game are overpowered. This one can be run with a silencer, can be run without a silencer, and usually you only need like 2 attachments. Usually I'll just run with myself with quick draw and grip, but now I've even been experimenting with stock a little bit, and the SMGs play so fast in this game. I don't think you're going to get anything better out of the SMGs in this game than you will with the ERAD because of how strong this is. And of course the energy guns automatically regenerate ammo, which is just an added perk onto them. Of course you can't wallbang with them. That's not really a big deal. There's not many wallbang spots in this game anyway, and that's why that one is going to be on my list for the SMG. Now another one on my list is going to be the raw LMG, and the reason for this is because this gun, I said it's the best gun in the game when the game first came out, and then of course it got nerfed, and I said it would get nerfed because of how overpowered it was. But LMGs in this game are a joke because you can use them with man-at-arms and move absolutely full speed. You're running around with an LMG like you have an SMG in your hands, and the reason why this one is still on the list because after those first nerfs they hit it with like 2 weeks into the game, this gun has not been touched since then. They've just left it, and I don't think those nerfs were really big. I think what they did was increase the recoil a little bit and make the aim down sights a tiny bit slower, but you run quick draw, and this gun is not a problem at all. This is one that's going to be sturdy and going to be in, I don't think they're going to be nerfing this one in the near future, and the only thing you have to make sure is that you run that man-at-arms, and then with this gun you don't have to focus on running dexterity because it's an LMG. You don't have to worry about reloads, so you can run either recon and ghost, which is what I like to run, and take full advantage of that mini-map as well as using it silenced. The way you can maneuver the mini-map and maneuver the whole map with a LMG in this game is absolutely a joke, and it's really overpowered. And I think that the raw definitely still deserves a top 5 spot unless they nerf it again, with in my opinion I don't think they're going to nerf this again. If they're going to nerf anything right now, I think it's probably still going to be the NV4. They might get some more nerfs for that, or maybe nerf the Type 2 because of how strong they made it. That's usually a common theme with Call of Duty, is they'll buff a gun and the gun will be so damn good that they'll have to nerf it again. I can't tell you how many times they did that with the Vesper and the VMP. It seemed like the Vesper last year with Black Ops 3, the whole year was just a buff, nerf, buff, nerf. It's the best gun, it's the worst gun. It's the best gun, it's the worst gun. And that's what they do over and over. And the raw LMG is definitely still in the meta for this game and is still a very good gun. Next one I'm going to be talking about is another one that did get a nerf but is still super sturdy and still in the meta. It is going to be the NV4. Now the NV4 did, like I made my video on it yesterday, it did get a small nerf. Very, very, you should check out my video from yesterday if you want to see, but basically they increased the recoil, but it's barely even noticeable. It's kind of funny that they thought that was a fair nerf. This gun, I mean, I guess they're buffing the Volk and the Type 2, which makes it more competitive in the assault rifle scene, but nothing is better than this gun at killing people long range. I have the flatline variant of it, guaranteed 4-shot kill at all ranges. Even with the silencer, like you just can't beat this gun at long range, and you can't beat the consistency of this gun. Type 2 and Volk, yes, they're going to be good, but they will have a tad bit of recoil, while this one will have pretty much zero recoil all the time, and it's something that you can rely on, and that's what I like about this NV4. It's 100% easy to rely on, and it's still one of the best guns in the game, and that's why it would just be, I would just be lying if I wouldn't put this on my top 5 guns. This is my most used gun. If you look at any pub stomper, any good player on this game, this is pretty much all of their most used guns, and this thing is an absolute laser gun. It's an absolute melt machine, and it's an awesome weapon. So be sure to check out these top 5 guns. If you guys want, let me know in the comment section down below your top 5 guns, your favorite guns in this game. These are my favorite guns for my playstyle. Everyone's might be different, but these guns you cannot go wrong with. They are all super strong, and if you want class setups for any of these weapons, you can just type into the search bar, type 2 class setup or whatever you want to see, and I have videos on class setups for all of these guns. Thanks for watching, guys. Drop a like on this thing. 2,000 likes would be awesome, and subscribe for Cookie and Don't Lookie, and I'm out. Peace.